Hello everyone, I am Teddy Roosevelt, the 26th President of the United States, and I'm going to be answering some of your questions. Well, I was born on October 27, 1858, and I grew up in New York City. I was the second of 4 children. My father was a philanthropist and a well-to-do businessman. As a child, I was always sick and was afflicted with asthma. As a teenager, I wanted to make my body, and I undertook gymnastics and weightlifting. It helped me develop my rugged physique. Since then, I always found time for physical struggles, including hiking, horseback riding, and swimming. Now, as a young boy, I was very smart. I was homeschooled and tutored by multiple private teachers. I traveled the world with my family in the late 1860s and the early 1870s. In 1876, I entered Harvard, where I studied many different subjects, including German, natural history, zoology, forensics, and composition. I also continued my physical efforts, taking on boxing and wrestling as new pursuits. As you can tell, I went from wimp to warrior. I met Alice Hathaway Lee in my college years. Alice and I soon had a daughter named Alice Lee. In 1884, my dear mother died of typhoid fever, and Alice died of kidney disease within a few hours of each other, and in the same house. I was so devastated that I left my daughter in the care of my sister and fled to the Dakota Badlands. I returned from the Badlands a while later. One of the reasons I did so was because of my childhood sweetheart, Edith Kermit Carew. We were married in England in 1886 and moved to Oyster Bay, New York, into the house known as Sycamore Hill. In addition to raising my first child, Alice, Edith and I had 5 children: Theodore, Kermit, Ethel, Archibald, and Quentin. I have so many interesting hobbies that I could go on for hours about. My main hobbies include hunting big game, exercising, hiking, exploring, and sometimes riding. Let's move on before I get too carried away. I unexpectedly became the 26th President of the United States in September 1901 after the assassination of William McKinley. I was young, the youngest to be president, actually. People said that I brought a new energy to the White House. I confronted the bitter struggle between management and labor head-on and became known as the Great Trust Buster for my vigorous efforts to break up industrial combinations under the Sherman Antitrust Act. It was also my duty to set aside many acres for national forest reserves and wildlife refuges. I set aside almost 200 million acres. In the foreign policy arena, I won a Nobel Peace Prize for my negotiations to end the Russo-Japanese War and spearheaded the beginning of the construction on the Panama Canal. After leaving the White House and going on a safari in Africa, I soon returned to politics in 1912, mounting a failed run for president at the head of a new progressive party. Let me think. Oh, I was blinded in one eye from a boxing accident. I switched to jiu-jitsu instead. A fact that you probably all may know is that while on a hunting trip as president, guides in Mississippi had arranged for me to shoot an old bear they had tied to a tree. I refused to do so on sporting grounds. The first part of the incident became a newspaper cartoon, which then inspired a shopkeeper to sell stuffed bears with my permission. These bears were called teddy bears. I am the father of a modern U.S. Navy. Some of you might have not known that. My beautiful face was put on Mount Rushmore. I have a great memory. I can remember many things according to the History channels. Oh, one of the most important facts that I can share is that I had, around at least 50 pets. I had dogs, ponies, lizards, snakes, raccoons, hens, roosters, guinea pigs, rabbits, and even a bear cub at one point. Ah, my favorite hen, Baron Speckle. Come here. That's all I can do for you today. I must watch my teams for March Madness. Hold on. Let's go, Baron Sprinkles.
Teddy, where are you going?
Watching my March Madness. That will be all for today.